Great day 2 here at the Kia World Extreme Games in Shanghai, China. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. We're getting ready for our aggressive inline final, which always brings out a great and enthusiastic crowd here to Shanghai, China. This is the Kia World Extreme Games, aggressive inline vert final, and it will be spectacular. 10 skaters in all have made it into the final. What are they judged on? How did they get here? And what are the rules? Well, that's pretty simple. Here we go. 10 athletes compete. They get 4 30-second runs, and it's the highest score that wins. Once again, everybody, I am Paul Higgins along with Arlo Eisenberg. And Arlo, I welcome you back to the vert ramp, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Your thoughts. Can somebody upset the person that should be upset at some point, the Osatogo brothers?
Well, in a word, no. They're not going to be upset. It would take a minor miracle for that to happen. But there are some good, talented guys out here. It's mostly a battle for third place after the Osatogos.
And you can see Warapaj Bonham is a late entry into this. C.J. Wellsmore, who won gold on the street. And, of course, as you skip on down to Takeshi and Eito Yasutoko, and, of course, they are the ones to beat. But, as Arlo said, anything could happen. Could see some really amazing things, but you just never know, right?
Well, last year, Eito won after Takeshi fell. But unless both of these guys fall in all of their runs, I don't really see anyone taking first place in this, but maybe second or third is up for grabs. Certainly third place is up for grabs.
And here we go, the Takeshi brothers and the whole host of the other 8 skaters out there on the ramp. Richie Eisler will be the first one to go. He's from Canada. And Richie, we saw him on the podium also with the street course. Did we see him on the podium? I've done so many events, I believe so.
Don't worry about it. He wasn't on the podium this year. Last year he got 4th place, so he earned an automatic qualifier to the street contest.
And
one of the top street skaters.
Yeah, and C.J. Wellsmore, of course, was on the podium from Australia winning the gold.
That's right.
So we congratulate them. Your thought process right now. Arlo, you've been in this situation. You know what it feels like, contest. Big crowd, a lot of anticipation.
Yeah.
Massive TV coverage.
And you know, it's not just a big crowd, it's a big ramp. It's bigger than most of these guys are used to. So they've been taking advantage of these last few days to try and get acclimated and get used to it. And a couple of these guys early in the round are street skaters. Warapaj was another one of the contenders for the title in the street contest. Big 540, that's something he was nervous about in the warm-up, but he nailed it there, no problem. Little trouble on the coping, manages to stay on his feet, but you can see he's going really low. These guys are running in reverse order from how they're ranked coming into this event. So we're going to work our way up to the Osatogos. You'll see the airs get higher, the tricks will get more difficult as we work our way through these heats.
So Warapaj's first run is in the books, and we'll see that score in just a second. And the scores will come to the top part of your screen, and then C.J. Wellsmore is getting ready to drop in. Again, there's a judge on the 100-point scale. Best overall run will win. And again, a very good crowd. Perfect day of weather here in Shanghai, China for the Kia World Extreme Games. Good look at C.J. Wellsmore. So with a score of 55.33. Wow. Okay, C.J. Wellsmore from Australia. Wilson to follow.
CJ's in the ramp, big tail grab to start. Little air walk, getting kind of squirrely in the air, and big air over the channel. CJ, of course, coming off of that first place win in street, now trying to add to his awards out here on the vert ramp. Not really a contender for the podium, but CJ's been competing in these events for a long time. The first time I ever saw CJ, he was a 10-year-old kid at the 1999 Asian X Games.
And again, they get 30 seconds inside the pipe, and as Arlo said, this is a big pipe. You've got to roll in. You take advantage of that, get some speed, and we'll take a look at CJ's score.
An interesting thing about the way this contest is formatted is they're short runs at only 30 seconds. And so what happens is these guys are encouraged to take chances, and you'll get less filler in the runs, and you get more of the bigger, more dynamic tricks. Because all they have to do is land those tricks, land a solid run 1 time out of 4. So you want these guys to take chances out there. But this is the first round, so you're going to see guys getting warmed up, getting their legs underneath them, trying to get some solid, safe scores before they really start opening it up.
Okay, Next skater that we have slated to go in is Leo Riot. And again, they get 4 shots of the pipe at 30 seconds a rip.
Flat spin, 540 from Leo. Leo's an interesting skater. He was raised in Colombia, but now he lives in North Carolina. And he built his own half-pipe in his backyard. A giant half-pipe, I think even bigger than this one, he tells me. 15 feet tall. This one is only 14 to give you some perspective. And I think it's 40 feet wide. And the most incredible part, as he goes another flat spin 540, he says he built it all by himself.
Really?
9.5 months. I mean, that is dedication.
That is amazing. So Leo Riot gets his run in the books. And as you continue in this, watching this, you will notice that as they get deeper into the heat and you get closer to the guys that qualified a little higher, you're going to see just that. They're going to go higher on the ramp.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, we're working in reverse order from how these guys are ranked. So the airs are definitely going to keep getting higher as we get to the top of the order. In fact, they should start going up right here. Another Japanese skater. And the Japanese skaters have really been representing on Vert, due in no small part to the influence of the Yasutokos.
So this is Tomoyuki Hirano.
Look at that. Double flat spin.
And he'll get a good score off of this.
He was looking kind of frustrated early on in the practice sessions. He was one of the guys having trouble getting used to the size of this ramp, but he looks like he's figuring it out.
Arlo, again, as we talk about...
That was a fakie 1080, big move.
As we talk about the judging and what they're looking for, we talk about a creativity, style, difficulty of tricks, technical tricks, how high you're getting out of the ramp, how much the style, what kind of style plays factor. Does he have good style?
Listen, with these action sports, you know, you're looking for beauty. This is art. We're looking for artistry. It's not just a sport. There's no finish line. It's how great can you make it look. So the guys that can flow across this ramp, you know, using the whole thing, you don't really want to break it down too scientifically. We do to make it understandable so the judges can sort of point to their scores and have justification. But really all they're looking for is who rides the ramp the best. So who's going the highest? Who's doing the most difficult, most impressive stuff? I mean, to anyone watching from their seats at home, it's got to pass the eye test. If it looks impressive, if it looks incredible, that's the same thing the judges are looking for.
That's right. Wake Shipman from the USA drops in. Flew over on the airplane with him. He's part of that Citrus tour, right?
He's on the Nitro tour.
Nitro tour.
Yes, and he's going to be doing the...
I just named a whole new tour.
And maybe we'll have to put one together.
Right. Well, Wake Shipman, I know that young kid with a lot of great skating ahead of him. He's putting together a pretty good run right here.
Yeah, it's okay. His strength really is street, and one of his real strengths is on the Mini Mega. I mean, as you mentioned, he's on that tour. And he does that thing, travels across the world doing that. He's only 17 years old. He finished high school early so that he could travel and skate.
That's amazing. 17 and leading us way to Anthony Avella from France. Anthony gets an opportunity to go in his first time on this ramp in this competition today on the final. Each skaters, again, as we talked about, they get 4 cracks at their runs, and they have 30 seconds to impress the judges.
And Anthony's another one of our two-way skaters, competed on street, also out here on Vert. Big tweak back mute.
Huge air right here, really bringing it up. The amplitude, everything.
That's what you got to do. You want to look confident and in control on the ramp.
Anthony Avella putting on quite a good show, winding down his run.
What we've seen from him is a lot of big clean airs, not too many tricks so far. There's a 540. Oh, gee, going down hard.
Boy, did he go down hard.
And then bounces right back up. This guy is no stranger to the gym. He's strong. He can take a beating.
That was an impressive run, and we'll see the scores again. Right now, he's flying high, and take us through this, Arlo.
Yeah, that was an inverted 540. He kicked out his leg, Liu Kang. And it just landed a little low and really didn't get that rotation under control. Over-rotated right into the transition, slammed into the flat.
Towa Kawasaki getting ready to go, one of the Japanese riders, skaters in this event, and he drops in through the channel going alley-oop style.
Well, watch this kid because he's wearing a good skate shirt. He's not just from Japan. He actually skates at the Yasutoko skate park, so he gets personal instruction from them, and you'll see their influence directly in his skating. Big, clean airs, knows how to ride out of that bird, uses the whole ramp. Forward 900, completely inverted. Now now going back the other way, kind grind. And this is going to be something interesting to note as we go on in this competition. Once we start getting to the top guys, what they do on the coping might really separate the top qualifiers and the guys who actually end up on the podium. Because they've all got the big airs, they've all got the big spins. It's who's willing to take some chances on the coping. Here's that inverted 900. So clean, executed great, and once again, I cannot overstate that Yasutoko influence.
Kawasaki pretty stoked about that one. This will lead us to Nikolai Nitinov from Bulgaria, and there's a great look at the ramp. You see the scores starting to come in. We're all on the same page now, so we have a 79.67 for Kawasaki, which leads the scores, and that will probably change as we get deeper into it with that gentleman. Nitinov getting ready to go in, and he will be our 8th qualifier. And again, as Arlo mentioned, the deeper we get in the contest, you'll notice that they will go higher and they will be better skaters.
Well, definitely keep an eye on this guy. I mean, right now you'd have to say he is the lead threat to take that 3rd podium spot. And if all the stars align just right, maybe he gets into number 2. There he goes, flat spin, 540. Straight into an inverted 540. There's a forward 900. So 3 tricks back to back to back. That's the way you want to do it. Headed for that channel. We've not really seen that challenge yet. Carving the backflip over the channel. So far, now we're really getting into the money runs. That was a great run from Nikolai. Nikolai
putting in a good run over the channel, as Arlo mentioned, and here we go. He goes up to the top. The coping is right there, which he bounces off.
Yeah, this is the 900 from Nikolai. That was the end of a 3-trick run where he had 3 tricks linked back to back to back. So very nice line from Nikolai.
We have a huge crowd here at the Kia World Extreme Games, and 2 reasons why is to watch these 2 final skaters in this first run. Takeshi Yasutoko will go, and then Eito Yasutoko will go. They're brothers from Japan. They have racked up more medals in inline skating than I think any other skaters in the world. And here we go with Takeshi. They are high flyers.
Right out of the gate. Well overhead high. It was 13 feet. Huge rocket. Viking flip. And these guys, they're not just 2 of the best inline vert rollerbladers in the world. These are 2 of the best half-pipe athletes across any discipline.
It's amazing what they're doing, and this passes the oh wow factor if you're watching at home.
That's it. This passes the eyeball test. This is what you want to see. And watch Takeshi. He's going to be impressive in the air, no doubt about it. He goes higher than anyone, but he's also going to take chances on the coping, and that will be the key to this contest. If he's going to beat his brother, it's going to be on the coping.
And these 2 trained at separate parts of the country, separate parts of the world.
One was training in California out at Woodward West leading up to this. That was Takeshi, who goes down at the end of his run, and Eito stayed in Japan. And now not only were they training at different parts of the world, they're staying in different hotels.
Are they?
Out here, absolutely.
Really?
I had breakfast with Eito this morning. I said, what's up with that? And he said, well, I said, are you guys fighting? He started laughing. He said, yeah, but really the truth is, he said, you know, Takeshi's still young.
Yeah.
He loves skating. It's all he wants to talk about. And Eito's like, I'm older. I have kids.
Right.
Like, I don't want to think about skating all the time. It's too much pressure. I want to talk to my kids.
That's funny.
So he made him stay in another hotel room.
There you go. 85.67 Takeshi. Eito dropping in right here through the channel. He will sky high as well. What will be the difference in these 2 runs? We'll find out.
So here we go. 1080 California roll. That's one of Eito's signatures. He's got a lot of signature tricks.
Huge crowd on hand, appreciating every move these skaters do.
He put in that 720 with that late rotation, the last 360 rotate late. Here's
double
a double back. First double back we've seen in the contest. And the skaters were talking about the small transitions here, the tight transitions, make those doubles a lot scarier. It's a lot less forgiving. There's a lot less margin for error.
Top that. Eito says, here you go, the double back. So hard to do. Coming back into the ramp backwards.
Yeah, and remember, Takeshi fell on his last trick. Eito finishes with a double back, so you would think that that's going to put him ahead.
And 85.67, we'll tell you that score in just a second as we went right to Boonen. So we completed 1 out of 4 here, so it's Eito Yasutoko. Takeshi Yasutoko and Kawasaki in this 3rd as we just had to go back up to the top. So Budin had a score of 55.33. He drops in on his second run. They get 4 runs in all.
Warpod landed the 540 in his first run. I know it's a tricky one to hit. There's the big stale Japan. Picked that up from his coach, Coach Opalik, one of his signature moves. There's the 540, clean, no problem. Now carving the ramp the other way with the alley-oop top corn. So that's one of the things you'd expect to see from one of the street skaters. Is very good on the coping, and now Warpod really driving that point home, and then missing on the alley-oop fish brain attempt. But right at the buzzer, so it shouldn't hurt him too much. Nice, solid run from Warpod.
Just received word that Eito Yasutoko recorded an 88 on his first run.
Right, so that's as it should be. You would expect that he would have the highest score after the first round. But what that tells you is that probably going to have to be in the 90s to win this thing.
CJ Wellsmore with a 50.67.
And you see that sticker on CJ's shirt. That's recognizing Otto, one of the competitors who was meant to be in this field. He actually got hurt in the practice session on a double backflip. So he's watching this from the hospital.
Is he really?
So all the skaters are thinking about him. We're all thinking about him, pulling for a quick and speedy recovery. And we know he wishes he could be out here. And we wish he could be out here.
Absolutely. CJ Wellsmore with a 50.67. He should get a better score than that because he's staying on his feet in the pipe. And, of course, gold on street.
Gold medalist on street. So this is all gravy here on the half pipe. In fact, CJ didn't even show up until about 5 minutes until go time before this contest. So he was out still celebrating his victory on street.
And the celebration will continue tonight.
Absolutely.
Okay, here we are in the middle pack of heat number 2, and Leo Riot is getting ready to drop in. He has a 50.33. Sometimes you see the skaters drop in between runs just to take a turn. It's not their run. They're just taking a crack at it. The Yasutoko brothers will constantly do that.
Well, it's a long time to wait. You've got 9 other riders in between your next run, so you want to keep your legs fresh. When you have to, wait 7 minutes, 6 minutes, and the first time you drop in, you want your legs to be fresh.
And here is Leo Riot from USA. He will drop in on his second run.
Yeah, we talked about the ramp that he built for himself. There's a flat spin 540. He says on his ramp he can do double backflips about 50% of the time. He wasn't too sure if he was going to go for it on this ramp because the transitions are different than what he's used to. They are tighter, as I mentioned.
And they get a good amount of time on the ramp to practice. They don't get an extraordinary amount of time.
Well, most of these guys have been here for at least a few days, and they've had pretty good access to the ramp. So credit to the organizers for giving them plenty of time to get used to this ramp.
That's right. It's a very busy ramp because you got so many disciplines: bikes, skateboards, inline skates, all on it. So they share practice time, they share competition time, and it's a great format. So Riot finishes his run. He had a 50.33 his first time, and now he got a 49.33. So the judges are doing it accordingly, and we get ready now for Hirano from Japan, and he has a 74.33.
Yeah, they call him Tomo, one of 2 15-year-old guys, both from Japan. They're our youngest riders. Tomo actually is a little older. He'll turn 16 this year. Big method, big airs, fly fish. Not a trick you see too often anymore. His version of a Viking flip right into the double flat spin. You'll see Takeshi do a version of that double flat spin where he throws in one more 180 at the end, comes out of it forward.
And it's important, Arlo, too. In 30 seconds, you can't waste a wall. You got to do a trick off every wall. That's
right, and that's kind of the nice thing about this format is there's not too much room for filler with only 30 seconds. Just throw your best stuff, get it done, and get it scored.
So Tomo Hirano goes, and that was a pretty good run. That's going to be better, I would assume, than a 74.33. Yeah, some big tricks in that run. It was pretty consistent. A lot of height, too. Yeah, watch this. This is the double flat spin where he's going to come back in fakie. I mentioned that the Yasutokos will get one more half rotation out of that, come back in forward. But I tell you what, Tomo, I think, is seated a little low in this round. He's actually probably going to score higher than where he's placed right now. Placed in the running order, I should say. Right. Wake Shipman from USA, 17 years old. He's in the pipe now, and he slides out.
That's a tough way to start. I mean, you talk about only 30 seconds to work with. Well, once you go down, that's going to take a lot of time to get back up. So this one is pretty much going to be a wash for him, unless he wants to try one trick, maybe go for some grind.
You always want to finish on a positive leading into your next run, so that's run 2. And then we get set for the bottom half of the bracket, which basically is the top skaters. If you qualify first, you go last. So Urano with a 74.33 will hold on to that score. And Wake Shipman getting ready to go.
We just saw Wake. It's actually Anthony coming up.
Anthony Avella, pardon me. Anthony Avella getting ready to go.
And you know, the idea is that there's an advantage in seeing everyone else skate before you take your run. Big tweak back method from Anthony right into the rocket. In the first round, we saw Anthony showed a lot of really clean, solid airs, about head high. He didn't throw too many spinning tricks, but definitely worked the style element. Carving up the ramp. There's the flat spin, 540, right into the backflip. Couple of, you'd say wasted walls right there, really. Backside Royale, right into the 270 backside rail. So a solid run, but certainly not very spectacular.
Anthony Avella wrapping up his second run. And again, Otto, they're thinking about him. Those are kind of cool stickers that they got done so fast and put on their shirts.
Yeah, it's a nice tribute to Otto, a nice way to show that we're all thinking about him.
So now we're getting ready for the bottom half of the pack, as we talked to you about, and it's Toa Kawasaki from Japan. And then we have Nikolai and then Takeshi and Eto, who leads it with 88.
So we saw Tomo, our other 15-year-old skater from Japan, and Toa is actually the youngest. He is a younger 15-year-old. There's a fly fish, and I think both these guys did fly fishes in their run. So here comes a 540, grabbing safety, setting up.
Reminds me of a young Yasutoko.
And for good reason. I mean, these guys, he is learning directly from the Yasutokos at their park, Good Skates Japan in Osaka. Ending with a rocket flat spin, which rotated really slow. That was cool.
Do you think that would be a better run than a 79.67?
I couldn't say.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be around the same ballpark.
So Kawasaki getting some good event experience right now and showing everything that he can do.
So there was the forward inverted 900, which rotates kind of strange because he gets completely inverted, so you don't see all of the rotations, but we still call it a 900.
Nikolai Nitinov getting ready to go, and he has a 75.67. The wind picking up here a little bit during the competition, which can affect these skaters a little bit, can push you around, especially when you get 8 feet out of the ramp.
Nice flat spin. Carving back the other way, inverted 540, right into the twisting corkscrew 900. That's a great combination. Nikolai is the only one we've seen attacking the channel. He did that in the first run. And he is the odds-on favorite to make the podium along with the Yasutokos. Certainly after his first run, and this run's looking really solid as well. He told me before this contest, he said, I'm finally starting to figure this ramp out. I'm feeling comfortable on it. He said, I'm actually to the point where I feel like I'm holding back.
Yeah.
Like I could get more out of it. So we'll see as we go through this contest if he doesn't start pushing for higher air.
That was a great run for him. Really
Very
solid
good
run. Boy, he used the entire ramp, got good height on his tricks, mixed it up. So we'll have to see what score he gets on that. He had a 75.67 prior to that run. So now we get into the Yasutoko brothers, Takeshi. And look, bring out signs for these young guys, and obviously they have a huge following in the sport of inline skating. Takeshi Yasutoko with an 85.67, currently in second place.
Look at this air, huge rocket. Oh my goodness, and laying it out on what would normally be a Viking flip, but no grab on that.
Just traveling, huge panel.
There's the double flat spin that comes out forward with that 180 at the end. And then here's where he can separate himself. 360 into the frontside Royale, switching into an alley-oop topside, and then look at this, zero spin into the misfit. So if he sticks this, if he can hold it for 30 seconds, that's going to be the top run.
Great run. for Takeshi Yasutoko.
I feel very confident saying that that's going to be a tough run because not only did he go higher than anyone, but what he did on the coping there, he was taking a lot of chances. There's a lot of risk, and the judges know that, and they appreciate it, and they're going to reward it. So here he is. He never gets the grab, just completely laid out, but it looks so dramatic. I mean, you can't fault him for it. And here he does. He gets the Liu Kang grab on the double flat spin. But where he really separated himself, in addition to all that, was on the grind.
And he got a 90.
There you go.
So, Arlo, you were dead on that. That was a really good run. And I was going to ask you, does he have a double back up his sleeve? And we'll see if he has that, if he even needs to do it. And Eito Yasutoko, who did do a very successful double backflip, he led all scores coming into this. But now his brother is taking over.
And you know, Eito's going to respond to this. I mean, he is the reigning champion coming into this event, and these guys compete everywhere they go. They're always competing against each other. So he knows how to step it up. He's just seen a great run from his younger brother. There's a double backflip 180 at the end coming out of it. Perfect execution. Right into a double back. So you asked for the double back, then Eito is delivering. But I have to tell you that after each of those double backs, he lost a couple of walls. So even with those big tricks, I'm not sure that that's going to be enough to overtake Takeshi.
So Takeshi currently has a 90 on his second run.
And not only did he lose a couple of walls after those big tricks, but we never saw him hit the coping.
Yeah, that's right. And his brother hit the coping quite a bit. So Takeshi Yasutoko leads all scorers with 90, waiting for Eito's score. He had an 88, and Nikolai is currently in third position. You see the people that have come to watch the inline Vert final here at the Kia World Extreme Games. Right now, Takeshi with a 90, and Eito with an 88, and Toa Kawasaki moves into third with a 79.67. That's the way it's shaping up. 2 more runs to go here at the Kia World Extreme Games. We'll have more for you right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Kia World Extreme Games here in Shanghai, China for a Kia moment of the day here on the Vert ramp. Inline skating taking control, and they are blasting out of the pipe. And we are in the midst of the Vert final with the men. Really spectacular. The Yasutoko brothers, how about this double backflip, skying super high, coming back into the ramp. Again, you're watching Kia World Extreme Games right here in Shanghai, China, and the crowd surrounding the Vert ramp here at the aggressive inline final. We are in the midst of the final, right in the middle of it. Matter of fact, they get 4 runs. We now approach run number 3. Hi again, everybody. I'm Paul Higgins along with Arlo Eisenberg. We welcome you back to the inline Vert final. The wind is picking up a little bit as we get later in the day. It's actually pretty darn good conditions right now, Arlo.
Beautiful conditions. The weather came out just the perfect time. And you know, the crowd always comes out for the Yasutokos. It's really shaping up to be a great event. Perfect weather, perfect crowd.
And here we go. And this is Warapaj Bonin.
We are in the second half of the heat, and so you'd expect these guys, this is the time where they're going to start opening it up a bit, especially as we get into the later skaters, the guys really contending for the podium spots, especially since we've seen some pretty good runs from these guys. Now it's the time to take some chances, really gun for those top spots.
And Warapaj falls towards the end of his run. He had a 55.33, so he'll have 1 more run to go. And this will bring us to C.J. Wellsmore. And C.J., as we mentioned it, can't mention enough because he put on such a great show. He won the street final yesterday in day 1 of our competition. And he won it with, you know, a lot of style, a lot of speed. Just enjoyable to watch the Aussie.
It's great. He's a really fun skater to watch. And, you know, kind of like Takeshi was out there competing in street. Takeshi made the street finals, but wasn't really a contender to win it. CJ won the street finals, and now he's out here competing on vert. Not really a contender to win it, but showing some of that street attitude, charging over the channel into the drop-in. That was pretty fun.
That's crazy.
Cross rocket grab. And like you said, he always brings energy, so he's always going to have fun. He's always going to make it fun to watch. Backside, kind of getting UFO into it. Getting really low on that backside. Double Liu Kang, 540. Just sort of making it up as he goes, and then running over the channel. And
into a backflip.
Below vert backflip.
So, yeah, you hold on to your heart, because you got ours skipping a little bit. CJ Wellsmore. And that's what it is. It's about being a showman.
Even if it's not great, it's fun.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's why they do the action sports that they do. Once again, he's running over the channel here. This is so cool.
Any way you can do it, just don't fall down the hole.
Jeez, did he get close? That's just deadly right there.
And you know, there actually is coping on the bottom of that channel for some strange reason. CJ almost ran into it. Might have accidentally done a trick there.
Maybe it's for the skateboarders to do a 50-50 up and around it.
That's what you would think. Yeah, that's all I could think of.
Wellsmore with a 52.67 leads us to Leo Riot. Again, now we are in run number 3.
Yeah, kicked out the Liu Kang 540 flat spin. Now, you watch these guys earlier in the round, and the difference between them and the top guys. I mean, you can see lower amplitude. Some of the tricks are the same, but they're 6-7 feet lower. There's a fakie 720.
And that's hours and hours on the ramp. I mean, the more they spend on the ramp and in the pipe, the more honed their tricks will get, and the higher they'll get. You know, it's one of those things where the Yasutoko brothers, they live on the dang ramp.
That's it, and they have their own skate park in Japan, and it's not just about the tricks, but it's how high you do them, how controlled, how good do you make it look.
So Tomo's going now from Japan, Tomo Hirano. And he has a score of 78. As Arla mentioned, he's kind of like a little protege of the Yasutoko brothers.
Well, we have a couple of Japanese skaters out here, a couple of young guys. They're both 15. This is Tomo. And he is not from the same town as the Yasutokos. He's from Tokyo, so certainly he is aware of the Yasutokos, and everybody that skates vert on inlines is influenced by the Yasutokos. This guy's got a little bit of his own style. And at only 15 years old, I mean, you can see already he's getting really big. He's getting really good amplitude out of the ramp and throwing some big tricks. So a bright future ahead of this guy. And you really see Japan taking over inline vert.
So it's really Tomo Kawasaki with the influence of the Japanese riders, the Yasutoko brothers.
And we'll see him in a little bit. And if we're not careful, I mean, we could end up with a Japanese sweep.
Right.
I mean, he's knocking on the door of that third spot right now.
That would be impressive. So now Wake Shipman from USA. And he skates on the mini mega ramp as well.
Yeah, he travels around with the Nitro Circus, and he skates with one of the best, if not the best, street skaters in the world, a guy named Chris Halfpipe, who couldn't make it to this event because he's out on the Nitro Circus. But I mean, getting to skate together with him every day, it's a real privilege and a real boon to Wake's own skating.
Wake Shipman, 17 years old, here in Shanghai, China. And again, the judges looking at creativity, style, difficulty of tricks, using the entire ramp, how high you get out of the ramp, what kind of style you have. There's so much to look at when you're a judge. It's not an easy job.
Yeah, and sometimes with these skaters who are more comfortable on street, you'll see them shy away from the bigger airs, and maybe they'll throw a more difficult grind. You saw Wake did a 270 Savannah, which was cool, but it's hard to compare against some of the things we're seeing from the Yasutokos, for instance.
Anthony Avella from France. And, it's important for the skaters to know what the judges are looking for, too, right? I mean, if they're not doing stuff that the judges are looking for, it sometimes can work against you.
Yeah, and ideally you want it to work the other way. And, you want the skating to dictate. Yeah, exactly. And the judges are looking just for the best skating.
Right, but that's not the way it works out all the time.
Not all the time, but the judges are really good, and they're all skaters themselves, so we're all on the same page. Everybody sort of values the same things in the sport.
Well, I loved when we got on the bus the other night on the way home, and you guys got in a real good discussion about judging and styles and scores. It was great. I mean, that's what fuels the sport.
That's what happens in a subjective sport. For every person, there's a different opinion.
Yeah.
But we are all in the same ballpark. We might quarrel over little details, but we're all all talking about the same thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Avella with that 67 plus, and now we go a little bit further into the competition with Kawasaki, again a high flyer, a young kid out of Japan.
Yes, and this is an important run because that's
boy.
too bad. I mean, I was just going to say, this kid right now, it's a matter of a fraction of points, talking about the third spot on the podium. He's right behind Nikolai in the standings. This run obviously is not going to bring him up, but he's got one more run to try and get into that third spot, if not better.
A 79.67 right now, what he has, and he'll just roll out of this run. This run will not be his best score.
You're right. He might be in third currently.
Yeah.
But Nikolai's nipping at his heels, right? So he can't afford to. Okay.
Yep. Just right behind him.
I know it's close.
Yeah. Nikolai's right there.
Yep.
And here he is coming up by the coping. Coping is that metal bar on top of the ramp. Sticks out about 1/4 of an inch. And we get set now for Nikolai. And 79.33. So he is just below Kawasaki.
And there's no reason that he can't improve that score and move up. He's got some big tricks, and he may even start taking some chances now that there's only 2 runs left. There's a big inverted mute 540 right into the forward corkscrew 900. And Nikolai is the only one who's been attacking that channel. So if he, in the practice rounds, he's been trying to spin into a grind over the channel. If he can hit something like that, he could definitely move his score up.
Marlowe, the wind picking up a little bit over the channel, as you just mentioned.
Yeah, and he's also got a grind over that channel. Look at this, coming back the other way. There it is.
Nice.
Oh, my goodness. He had it. He hit that grind just the way he wanted to do it. 450 backside rail.
Oh, he fell with just like 4 seconds left to go.
But he's showing his hand. If he lands that, he's going to move up into third at least.
Nikolai with a solid run until the very end. Be interesting to see how the judges score that, because he fell at the very end, had a really terrific run going into it. And now we move on to Takeshi Yasutoko, who had a 90 his last run.
Which is our leading score to this point.
That's right. His brother Eito has an 88.
Right, so not a whole lot of breathing room there. Takeshi's going to continue to open it up.
Nikolai will hold on to the 79.33, so...
Watch the height of these airs. Huge! Laid out flat spin. So when Eito does, when Takeshi does a setup air, oh no, missing the double flat spin. But sometimes we'll comment that a guy doing a setup air is kind of wasting a wall. But Takeshi's setup airs are so high that they are, impressive tricks unto themselves.
Absolutely. So the 90 right now is the score to beat. The window's cracked open, the door's cracked open a little bit for Eito with an 88.
Takeshi called for one more trick, so he might give us he might be giving us a tip of something he wants to try in his final run. No, didn't get it.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see what he's cooking.
It's almost like he wants to wait a little bit later on to do that, because he doesn't want to show his cards or fall and get hurt.
But it is interesting to know that he's got something he's saving.
He sucked it up there. He didn't like the way he was coming back into the pipe. So Eito Yasutoko, last year's winner, with an 88 right now. Boy, you used to be able to tell the difference of these guys. Now it's very hard to tell, because they've grown up, and
Takeshi used to be the young one.
Yeah, Takeshi used to be the young one.
Big airs.
Flailing way up in the air.
There's his signature 1080 California roll right into the fakie 360 with the rocket grab, setting up mute air. Now let's see if he can save these walls. Landing kind of low. That's a big double backflip. And he went for the coping. Remember we talked about he's going to have to get on the coping if he wants to compete with his brother. He attempted the topside sole and missed it. There's a clean double backflip. There's a zero spin fish brain. And he's like, why couldn't I hit that in a perfect run? So both of these guys showing what they're looking for in their perfect run, but not quite hitting it here in the third round.
Well, that's going to be amazing as we wind this one down. Still, one more run to go by every single skater. It will come down to this young man here on the final run of the day. Eito Yasutoko. I don't think he will not get higher than 88 on that particular run. Or if he does, that will be a pretty interesting score, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I don't think he will, but it's very interesting that he did that grind and landed that zero spin fish brain, because what it says to Takeshi and everyone else is if he hits that in his perfect run, he could move above 90.
So we come down to the final runs of the day. We'll have that when we come back. You're watching the Kia World Extreme Games. More after this. everybody, and welcome back to the Kia World Extreme Games here in Shanghai, China. Takeshi Yasutoko with a great run. He has a 90, leads all scores right now as we get set for the fourth and final run here in the inline vert final. Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm Paul Higgins along with Arlo Eisenberg, and we welcome you back inside the pipe on what should be a great finish.
This is what it all comes down to.
10 runs to go, and the final three will most likely decide who is on the podium and in what direction they're going to be standing.
Yeah, when we've seen some interesting moves here in the last round.
So here we go. It's a huge pipe, and it's a great atmosphere here in Shanghai, China for the contest. It's been a wonderful day of competition. We've seen so many great moments already, and we're only on day 2 here in Shanghai, China. So here we go. Warapaj Bonin drops in, and he has a score of 55.33. Certainly Arlo wants to better that score and come back next year and even be a stronger skater.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you're not in contention, you know, you want to hit your run perfect. You want a clean run out there. Nice high 40. And so far, Warapaj is, well, he was having a good run, but he missed the alley-oop top porn, and that's probably going to do it for him. He might hustle back up, but he's not going to have enough time left.
Again, they get 4 runs in all. You're judged on your highest score of the day, and when you fall, you basically throw out that score, which is good to do, especially if you hit a good score early, and you can try to hold on to that score. Now, this C.J. Wellsmore, a very entertaining third run. As you might remember, he walked over the channel, kind of skipped over there. I'm not sure.
Shuffle walk.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll see that again, but it would be kind of fun to sit back. And this guy's an entertainer. He could probably put on his own show in Vegas on a pair of skates.
You know, it's funny you say that because a lot of these guys are employed in Vegas. They do the Cirque du Soleil shows.
And that's fantastic. It really is to watch any of those shows. And Arlo, it's a pleasure sitting here watching it with you, man. You're such a great asset to the sport. There we go on the walkover. Yeah. But you've been in this sport for as long as I can remember, and you've seen it grow, and it's still growing.
No question about it. I mean, I've been around since the very beginning, and it's funny as we mention it because I remember seeing this skater who won the contest yesterday, the street contest, when he was 10 years old.
Yeah.
You know, and he's, what, 27 now. So we've watched not just the sport, but all these riders grow up before our eyes.
And it's important as he just went over and made a gesture to the crowd, basically thanking them, and that's great support to have. So C.J. Wellsmore wraps up his fourth and final run, brings us to Leo Riot out of the USA, and Leo with a 50.33. Got a smile on his face. CJ's last score was 49.67, so he'll wind down the day with a 52.67.
There's a nice air. Leo's got some nice tricks. He's got the flat spins, and he's, you know, I know he's been working on the doubles. He's just got to work on the height, the amplitude, get those airs up. See, there's a flat spin 360 right at coping.
And did you remind me, did you say that he pulled a double back on his own ramp? Is that him?
He does. He says he's got it at about 50% on his own ramp.
Do you do something like that when no one's around? Or, I mean, that's a pretty risky trick.
Right, you would think you want someone out there. He says he skates alone.
Yeah.
He's at his home. I'm hoping he's got people nearby. But, yeah, that's not the kind of thing really you want to be training by yourself.
And Mr. Riot ends up, and again, gives an idea of Otto, the sticker for the people that just joined us, that he pointed to his helmet just there.
That's right, and talking about learning the double backflip, Otto's the guy who's got the double backflip pretty consistent. In fact, he's been working on triple backflip, if you can believe it, but that's the trick that sent him to the hospital yesterday, so you can never be too safe. And
he was here when he did that?
That happened in practice, yeah, unfortunately.
That's amazing. And they take good care of the athletes. Wow.
Big Viking flip right into the double flat spin. Nice combination.
Boy, giving you a little peek of what this kid is made up right here.
Topside sole, clean, covered a lot of panels on that. Right into the fake E5. Oh, that's not a good move right there. Young man, you have a lot to learn. He's only 15 years old, but when you have a run going like that, don't you dare stop. Not with only 30 seconds.
Shoot, I was almost getting ready to put him on the podium at third.
What is he doing?
It was a good run.
And he's young. He's too young to get tired. I mean, an old guy, sure.
Right.
But at 15, you better keep going.
That's right. So he'll learn, and I know you'll talk to him about that later on.
I'll tell Ato to pass on the good word.
And his last run was a 77.33. He was going to better that.
That's too bad.
He was going to get a better score. You know it. Shipman in the pipe at 49.33. That's his best score of the day. So we are closing in on an exciting finish. If you've just joined us, you've joined us at a perfect time because we're in run 4 of 4 of the men's aggressive inline street final here at the Kia World Extreme Games. Our top 3 skaters still to go.
So Wake went over the channel 360. He actually started out with a nice line. He did his Savannah straight in to a spin.
And the buzzer goes off, and Shipman will conclude his experience on the Vert ramp at the Kia World Extreme Games. And we'll see him on the Mini Mega ramp later on in the week.
And the Mini Mega is where he really shines.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing that show.
Crazy. Anthony Avella from France.
Anthony's had a few really solid runs, just like that big tweaked out air, big rock, and this is what he's going to do for most of his run, is these big airs, clean grabs, very solid. Just not really at the same level as the guys who are contending for the top spots because it lacks the difficulty in the air.
You know, Arlo, a trick that I never, ever get tired, no matter what discipline it is,
How about that?
is to watch these action sports do alley-oops, traveling backwards.
Yeah, it looks so good.
It really does, whether it be on an inline skate, a skateboard, or bicycle.
So you take the raw, pure beauty of just traveling alley-oop across a ramp, carving against the way that you're airing, and then throw in a double flat spin like Takeshi does. He does an alley-oop double flat spin. I mean, it's unbeatable.
Yeah, it's like lights out.
That's what ramps are made for.
Yep. Kawasaki getting ready to go now. Avella with a 67.67, and then now Kawasaki with a 79.67. So Kawasaki with a 79.67. He is flying high in the ramp.
Yeah, our youngest competitor, 15 years old, a threat at this point to take that third spot. Forward 900. He trains with the Yasutokos. He's wearing a Good Skates Japan t-shirt. That's the Yasutoko skate park in Osaka. 540. Oh, no.
Slides out with about 4 seconds to go. So 79.67 was his score.
So he's leaving the window wide open for Nico, and you see him pointing there to the Otto sticker.
Again, Otto got hurt yesterday in practice, and he is watching this. And Otto, we wish you a very speedy recovery, a skater in the community of inline. So here we go. This Nikolai Nitinov has an opportunity to shake up third place right here.
Let's see what happens. He showed at the end of his last run, he tried that spin to grind over the channel. If he goes for that again and hits it, he's going to be moving up in the standings.
He needs to get above a 79.67 to get on the podium.
Here's his first pass over the channel. Carved that backflip, lands right on the edge. He's going to try and come back the other way. He's got to set up for it. And if he can, this is the key to the podium. This is the key to this run right here. 450 backside royale. A little sketchy, but he lands it. So this one's going to have to go to the judges because he got what he wanted. It took him, I think, a couple of extra walls to set up for that. But he did hit it.
Hey, congratulations to Nikolai. Wow. You saw, remember in his third run, he didn't hit it, and he comes back and hits it, and he is gassed. So nice run over the channel, Arlo.
There it is, yeah, 450 to backside royale. He didn't quite land in the royale. 1 foot got held up. It was almost a stuck backside. But he stayed on his feet and he hit it.
Takeshi Yasutoko getting ready to go, and Nikolai has just earned himself a medal. He is now on the podium in third place and will walk away with a bronze. So right now we're going to find out who's going to win gold. Is it going to be Takeshi, who won it last year, or will it be Ato, who has an 88? Takeshi has a 90.
Well, Takeshi has a 90 already, and we saw him fall in his last run, but even after he fell, there was something he was clearly working on that he's been saving. So we'll see if he can get a clean run. There's that carved alley-oop, double flat spin. This time no problems. Coming back the other way. Whoa!
Slides out. So the door is open for Ato, last year's winner, to regain and hold on to his champion. His gold medal that he won last year Can he do it again? He has an 88. His brother Takeshi has a 90. So it's all going to come down, just like we thought it would, to the final skater of the day. And Arlo, take us through it.
Well, here he goes on that carved double flat spin. You can see he lands it no problem. And then what happened was he tried to come back the other way, and it just didn't work. He sucked it up, ended up in the transition on his knees, and that's a tough break for Takeshi.
I'm not sure if I would want to be a judge on this final run here, deciding this run, and 84 for Takeshi. So, Eito, last year he won it. Can he do it again? We'll find out. He's got 30 seconds to impress the judges.
And let's point out one of the keys here, because in Eito's last run, he fell on an air, but after he got back on his feet, he went for a grind. He did a zero-spin alley fish brain, locked on one foot. It's a tough grind, and the judges will reward him. If he can land all the tricks and a tough grind like that, he's going to be right up there.
He stayed in Japan and trained. His brother stayed in California and trained. They're staying in 2 different hotel rooms, 2 different hotels. But now, their only points separate them from 1 and 2.
And they've been trading titles over the years. Double flat spin, 180, topside sole. So far, so good. He's hitting all the tricks he wants. Here comes a double backflip, lands it clean. So let's see, here he comes, Fakey, looking for that trick, that's it!
Eito at the very end.
And look at his brother, even acknowledging, bowing to him. So that's the trick Eito wanted to have, that's the run he wanted to have. Oh my goodness, to be a judge right now.
Will it be enough? We'll find out in just a second. He needed to get 3 or just over 2 points. And here we go for Eito Yasutoko.
This is what it all came down to. Coming in backwards, locking on that alley fish brain. And you can see, took everything he had, total concentration to lock it, and he did it. In the run before, he was so locked on, he was able to come out forward. But, you know, no one's going to be taking anything away from him. That was the trick. That was what it all came down to. He hit all of his big airs. He got the double backflips. He got the double backflip 180. But with that grind, that may have been just what he needed to get over the edge.
Eito and Takeshi separated by 2 points. If Eito can get 2 points plus 1, 2.1, he'll win it. But again, it's up to the judges' hands. It's in their hands as the crowd looks on here in Shanghai, China, as we all await on who will be this year's 2014 Kia World Extreme Champion. Eito Yasutoko and Takeshi Yasutoko came into this knowing that they were going to go down to that last run. After the 3rd run, we knew that it would be decided on the final run of the day. And that would be the 40th run of the day.
And this is another one of the advantages of skating last.
Here's the results, and Takeshi Yasutoko is your champion today. So Takeshi comes away with the win. It was a 90 by Takeshi. It was an 88 by Eito Yasutoko. And Nikolai Nitinov gets the bronze. So it is Takeshi winning the championship here at the Kia World Extreme Games here in Shanghai, China. So Eito gets 2nd and Nikolai 3rd. We'll be back with more of the medal presentation here from Shanghai, China. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kia World Extreme Games. We've just wrapped up an exceptional aggressive inline final. And it would be one that is going to be remembered for a long time. It will be one that's going to be remembered for a long time. Takeshi Yasutoko and Eito Yasutoko going head-to-head the final couple of runs. And the podium is decided on the last run. Takeshi Yasutoko wins gold, Eito wins silver, and Nikolai Nitinov on the podium as well, winning a bronze. So we congratulate our skaters who put on a wonderful inline vert final. Could not have been any more entertaining, especially the last 3 runs. Nikolai coming out of nowhere to get a score that bumped him up into 3rd place. Takeshi Yasutoko winning the gold. Eito, his brother, winning the silver. So a really special day, and here we go. There's Takeshi getting his gold medal. His brother won it last year, but the score of 90. qualifies him for that gold medal. So congratulations to them. They have been at the top of the podium for years, and it's going to be very interesting to see who and when knocks them off the podium. Is it one of you at home watching today that has some tricks up their sleeves that can beat these guys? If you do, you got to bring it. You got to bring it with a lot of height, enthusiasm, and a lot of skill. So we'll get ready to go downstairs as Takeshi Yasutoko is going to tell us what he thinks about his run. And Arlo Eisenberg, I know you're standing down there. Arlo, take it away, my friend.
Takeshi.
Yeah.
It seemed like Eito threw everything he had in that last run. How nervous were you after Eito's last run?
Yeah, it was so pressure because, you know, Eito has a lot of great trick. And, yeah, I'm so happy right now. I'm speechless. Yeah, so thank you.
Are you going to let him stay in your hotel room next year?
I got it.
Congratulations, Takeshi Yasutoko.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arlo. Takeshi Yasutoko, the gold medal winner here on the aggressive inline vert competition. A lot of camaraderie and brotherhood, obviously, between the skaters, in particular with the Takeshi brothers. For Arlo Eisenberg and Emil Janico, I'm Paul Higgins. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow, BMX Mini Mega Final, the Skateboard Vert Final. Until next time, I'm Paul Higgins. Thank you for watching the 2014 Kia World Extreme Games.